Village of Oxford is getting serious about inspecting backflow prevention devices known as BPD on residential and commercial properties. The state is warned because if it doesn't, they could come in and take over its entire water system as a penalty. In the coming weeks, Village Water customers will receive a letter informing them that if they have BPD, it must be inspected. BPDs protect potable water systems from contamination through the community cross connections. According to the Department of Environmental Quality, degraded cross connections could possibly allow undesirable water, sewage, and or chemical solutions to enter a potable water system, which is why it is mandated that the village perform the inspections.
There's no doubt Legacy 925 is on the tip of people's tongues these days. Concerns, questions, and issues related to the 200,000 square foot multi-use building were raised at all three Oxford Township meetings last week: the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Board of Trustees, and the Planning Commission. The comments covered many topics, including a stop work order, sewer capacity, the process for approving new uses inside the building, signage, parking, and the proposed liquor license. After more than 3 years of construction of both the building and new parking lots, building owner Christian Mills was ordered to stop working on the final phase of the project, which includes plans for a restaurant. Mill was told by the county to cease construction until all required paperwork is received by the county. In addition, the Township Board has concerns over septic and water use effects should the restaurant and conference hall capacity remain the size Mills has asked for. Mills explained that he would reduce the seating size and stated he has submitted applications to the county and will continue to work towards compliance.
It took longer than usual due to several turnovers in the office, and there are some issues that still need to be resolved, but in the end, Village of Oxford's audit was completed on time. According to auditors, the municipality's financial statements for 2016-17 fiscal year scored very high marks. The village received an unmodified opinion from the East Lansing-based firm of Stevens, Kervick, and Tucker. In layman's terms, it's a clean opinion that, according to Aaron Stevens, a principal in the firm, who delivered a presentation to the council at the January 9th meeting, the village's general fund ended the fiscal year June 30th with an unassigned fund balance of nearly, get this, $600,000. This money can be spent or saved at the municipality's discretion.
Never let it be said that Oxford Township doesn't show gratitude for hardworking law enforcement personnel who serve and protect the citizens on a daily basis. Last week, the Township Board voted 7-0 to approve a resolution expressing its support and appreciation for outstanding leadership of Oakland County Sheriff Lieutenant Scott Patterson, commander of the Oxford substation. Patterson has commanded the substation since 2011 and served with the Sheriff's Office since 1989. Congratulations.
It appears a real-life Grinch has stolen a bit of the Christmas spirit from Emmanuel Congregational United Church of Christ. 2 Advent candles, one pink and one purple, were swiped from the sanctuary. The candles were last seen on the evening of Tuesday, January 2nd. The same night, Emmanuel hosts its weekly free community meal, which opens to the public. They were discovered missing the following morning. Maybe the Grinch likes to eat candles.
Growing up in the Detroit area surrounded by concrete and metal does not offer many opportunities for young people to interact with horses or visit a barn. But that's changing due to the work of Detroit Horsepower. On Sunday afternoon, the nonprofit group brought 7 urban students for a visit to Banbury Cross Therapeutic Equestrian Center in Metamora. Founded in 2015, the organization teaches urban youth to ride and care for horses as a way to develop critical skills necessary for future success.
It's official. Oxford Orient Fish is going to have a spacious new home right on M24. Last week, the nonprofit's board of directors voted unanimously to approve a lease agreement with Addison Township resident Dan Davis for the 5,000 square foot building. Not only did Davis, who owns Royal Roofing in Orion, purchase the building for Fish to house its food pantry and offices, he's agreed to donate the money to Fish to completely cover the cost of the lease, which includes utilities, maintenance, and property taxes.
That's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories or others, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, catch us right here on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T UVerse Channel 99, or you can catch us on our website, occtv.org, and Oxford Community Television YouTube.
And coming up is John Ochins with school news, OCTV's very own Cody Wright with sports, and you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles, and thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, bring out your dead. Honeybees pick up dead or diseased nestmates and drag them out of the hive. Removing corpses protects against infection, which can spread like wildfire in densely packed hives. The honeybees work together to fight off disease, says Alison McAfee of the University of British Columbia in Canada. But not all hives remove their corpses. McAfee and her colleagues have been trying to figure out why this is. In 2017 study, they discovered two fumarones called oleic acid and beta-ocimene, which are only released by dead bee larvae. When they wafted these death fumarones over honeybees, nerve cells in the antenna of corpse-removing bees were more active than those of other bees. This suggested that corpse-removing bees were better able to smell the fumarones. Now the team has added the fumarones to the healthy larvae, and as expected, worker bees removed dosed individuals from this nest, and bees from corpse-removing colonies removed more larvae than those from other nests. The corpse-removing bees' ability to smell death could be down to two proteins on their antenna, OBP16 and OBP18. These are largely absent from bees that don't remove corpses. These proteins grab onto their odor molecules, transport them to neurons, and stimulate them, leading to a sense of smell, says McAfee. Bees were bred to express proteins linked to corpse removal, and they removed more of their dead. The research could allow us to selectively breed bees that make the two proteins and hence remove their dead. Corpse-free hives are better at fighting off infections. In another 2017 study, this team selectively bred bees to express 13 proteins linked to corpse removal, including OBP16 and OBP18. After 3 generations, the colonies removed more of their dead and were more resistant to several diseases. Good for the bee. And on the medical front, some deep breaths could soon treat heart failure, the deterioration of the heart following a heart attack, thanks to an inhalable spray that has performed well in animal tests. The drug delivered by the spray is contained in nanoparticles that are small enough to be absorbed through the air sacs of the lungs and into the bloodstream. From there, blood travels straight to the heart, where the nanoparticles should release the drug. To test the drug, the researchers gave it to mice whose hearts were deliberately injured to mimic heart failure. Heart health was measured by examining the proportion of blood ejected by the left ventricle, a chamber of the heart, every heartbeat. Compared to healthy mice, this measure was 17 percentage points lower than in injured mice. When 10 of these mice were given the nanoparticle spray, the measure rose by an average of 15 percentage points, and it recovered almost completely, says Michele Margoli of the University of Parma in Italy. Control treatments did not have the same effect. The nanoparticles are made from calcium phosphate, a natural mineral that is abundant in bone. The drug they contain is designed to repair calcium channels on the surface of the heart cells, which normally help electrically maintain the normal beating of the heart, and that's a good thing. And in the ocean, surfers seem to be gulping down antibiotic-resistant superbugs in seawater and maybe unwittingly spreading them to people they know. Resistant bacteria pose what UK's Chief Medical Officer Sally Davies last year described as an apocalyptic threat by making it impossible to cure simple infections with standard antibiotics. In 2013, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control warned that each year 23,000 Americans die from untreatable infections and 2 million are infected with increasingly resistant superbugs. To see if contaminated seawater might be putting surfers at risk, Anne Leonard at the University of Exeter in the UK and her team examined the stools of 143 local surfers and 130 sea swimmers. They found E. coli bacteria that was resistant to the antibiotic cefotaxime in samples from nearly a tenth of the surfers, but in only 3% of the swimmers. Previous research had found that surfers swallow around 10 times as much seawater a session as swimmers do. We think that bacteria reach the sea mainly in sewage, including runoff from farms containing manure and human sewage following periods of high rainfall, says Leonard. Because surfers are generally young and fit and healthy, they are unlikely to be troubled themselves by any superbug, says Leonard. The big worry is that they might help resistant bacteria spread and infect vulnerable people such as the elderly. They have the potential to pass them on, perhaps through poor hygiene or preparing food without washing their hands, she says. Surfers and swimmers can best avoid swallowing superbugs by staying out of the water for 2 days or so after heavy rain, she suggests. So that's that. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website dogsaver.org and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link.
Welcome to the Oxford Wildcat School Update. One of the biggest charitable fundraisers before the holidays is the Penny Wars over at the Oxford Middle School, and this year was no exception. Dacia Beasley is the principal over there, and she sums it all up.
We had a wonderful Penny Wars. In fact, I just announced to our 8th graders yesterday, who have been with us for the entire 3 years where we've done Penny Wars, and our students have chosen those projects and those organizations. Our 8th graders have been involved with raising over $20,000 in their time in middle school, and that is something really to be proud of. Especially when we started, we were really hopeful for $100.
And this year, the organization you chose was?
We chose St. Jude Children's Research Hospital this year.
Over $5,000.
And that was over $7,000. Yes, $7,444.13.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you. We have an amazing community here of not only students but our staff and of course the students' families.
Our Rachel Baker was at the big assembly. She spoke with Stacy Blaskowski, one of the 8th grade teachers.
Well, once the charity was chosen, there were a few students in my advisory who took the lead and strategized with the rest of the class, and they decided to set a goal. They talked to the rest of the class and decided that they wanted to raise $350. So they talked about ways that they would be able to do that. They asked me to send an email home to their parents, which I did, and explained to all of the parents what their goal was. And then there were a few students in my class who talked to their parents and had their parents they made flyers and had their parents take flyers to where their parents worked at so that they could have their parents, colleagues, help bring in money to raise money for St. Jude. So we strategized. The 8th grade gold team is very we're very competitive. So we, Mr. Smokey, Mr. Clark, and I sort of set the bar very high for our kids. So we wanted to beat Mr. Clark and Mr. Smokey. So my kids were ready to do that. From day one, they didn't want to turn in any of the money that we had. They had me keep it locked up in my classroom. So I had hundreds of dollars in my cupboard, which I was very uneasy about. But anyway, on Friday, we pushed it to Monday because we had a snow day. On Friday, we turned in all our money, and the kids were able to bring in $355.
Cecily Seegers is one of our students. She talks about how she helped achieve the goal.
I asked my dad for his spare change, and it was, I just used a lot of the money I saved up over the years, which was actually close to almost $200.
That's a very noble thing you did, Cicely. Thank you so much for helping with this fundraiser. You guys did a great job.
It was my pleasure to help people survive the cancer. It's a suffering position, and I hope that it helps a lot.
Nicole Laidlaw works for St. Jude. She is also an Oxford graduate. She spoke at the assembly.
So actually, I did graduate from Oxford. I actually got a call from one of my old high school friends' moms who still works here, and then the athletic trainer actually texted me too and told me that they were doing this fundraiser for St. Jude, and we're looking for somebody who worked there. And obviously, as an alumni, I jumped at the opportunity. They asked me if I wanted to come speak. More than willing to do that, to educate about the hospital, about what they raise the money for. Kids raising money for kids is amazing, and it was just, I'm feeling very proud to be an alumni and to come back and to have raised as much money as they did. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely, I agree. And so were you working with any of the teachers and staff here to get all this done?
So basically, the staff here did all of the work, which is pretty incredible. They motivated the kids to raise the money. I guess this was the charity that the school voted on, and it was overwhelming majority vote. So we're feeling very blessed to be chosen for the charity, and they organized everything, motivated the kids, and I think, the mixture of the charity, the mixture of the leadership here at Oxford Middle School, they really excelled and raised a record-breaking amount for a charity. So
That's really great. Do you know any of the St. Jude's kids? Do you ever get to see them?
So I actually, the hospital is in Memphis, Tennessee, but we treat the sickest of the sick. So kids from all over the world. I visit the hospital about once a month. We do different seminars with all of our different donors to show them where their money goes and to, show appreciation to what they do for us. So absolutely, we have a lot of local kids here in Michigan, and unfortunately there are a lot of families that I know of who were the 1 in 5 who actually did lose their children. There's several that are in the Shelby Township area, Grosse Pointe. There's one in Flint who gratefully is still alive and is well and is doing great, who has been in remission for several years now. So I work a lot with the local families that are here mostly, and they come to events and they speak, and they're just trying, they may have had a sick child and they either are still living or they're not, but they want to ultimately help push that 80% survival rate to hopefully 100%, in a few years. So
Another job well done by all. That's the Oxford School Update for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
What's happening, Wildcat fans? Once again, Cody right here to bring you the sports report. The hockey team's looking good. Both boys and girls basketball are staying busy, and the wrestling team is dominating. So let's dive in and check it out. Well, first off, boys basketball took on Avondale on the 16th on the road. All three clubs played. First out of the gate was Freshmen, who started off strong and took the win 46-35. Following was JV, who struggled and fell to a final of 53-45. And lastly, the varsity club ended the night, but not on top. Final score was 54-40. On the flip side, the girls basketball team went on the road and took on Lake Orion on the 15th. The freshman club once again starting things out strong with the win, 35-30. JV followed that up, but not on a high note, falling short. Final score was 33-23. And last but not least, the varsity club finished the night off strong in what was a close game. Heading into overtime, Wildcats come out on top, 37-35. Like I said, the hockey team is looking pretty good. On the 12th, they went on the road to Lindell Arena and took on Royal Oak. Second time we faced them this year, and this time we really played well, taking the win 5-2. On the 14th, we then returned back to Detroit Skate Club to take on West Bloomfield. It was a close game, and we stuck with them, only falling short by 1 goal. Final score was 3-2. And last but certainly not least, the wrestling team took on Seaholm on the 17th. We were absolutely dominant on the mat. The meet ended with us ahead by a mile. Final score was 72-5. And that should just about wrap up this week's report. For any more info on these events and others, go to oxfordathletics.org. Plenty of stats, game breakdowns, and more can all be found right there at oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at OCCTV.org. We post all of our coverage of the games on our YouTube page, which can be accessed through the website, along with many other programs. Once again, that is OCCTV.org. And that's about all for this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to tune in next time. But until then, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Hi, I'm Brandon Sink, and welcome to your weekly calendar of events where we feature all of your events for Oxford and Addison Township, including charities, special fundraisers, and general community information. Do you feel that you or your organization isn't getting the recognition it deserves? If so, contact us at 248-628-9658 or go to our website at octv.org if you want to get your message out. The Oxford Chamber of Commerce would like to make networking not only helpful to your business, but fun as well. To help with this goal, the Chamber has scheduled awesome monthly events to help people meet other people who are potential customers or referral partners. It is also a great resource for services you may need within your community. To join the Chamber or attend any number of their events, explore their website at oxfordchamber.net or call 248-628-0410. And if you are looking for inside events to keep you busy in the coldest times, check out the Oxford Library's schedule of events, which includes activities the whole family can enjoy. This month, the library is hosting a special Hemingway exhibit. The exhibit is on loan from the Clark Historical Library from Central Michigan University and explores the years Hemingway spent in Michigan. For anyone who might have missed the grand opening, there's no need to be sad. You have the rest of the month to stop by for a visit. And you can also plan for other events by checking out their website calendar by going to miop.org, then click Events Calendar or call 248-628-3034. Also, don't forget the library will continue to host its Thursday night music for your listening pleasure. If you missed out on getting that fuzzy snuggler for Christmas, K9 Stray Rescue League hosts dog adoptions on the first and second Saturdays of each month at the Harvest Time Farm Market located at 1125 South Lapeer Road in Oxford from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. In addition to finding loving homes for these stray dogs, they also work with organizations that use dogs to assist the leader dog for the blind as well as U.S. Customs agents. If you're unable to adopt, that's okay, because a K9 Stray Rescue can always use volunteers. For more information, go to k9stray.com or call 248-628-0435. If it's genealogy you're interested in, check out the Addison Township Library on not only the first, but the second Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. Learn about your past and discover yourself by sharing your passion for genealogical research. Discover software, online sites, and how to read antique handwriting. If you'd like more information about these and more information on the Addison Township events in the library, please call 248-628-7180. And if you own a business belonging to our organization, you could become a sponsor for or underwriter for OCTV. A promotional spot will be created just for you, and our broadcast announcers will give you continuous recognition at all games and events. It's a great way to show your community support and promote your business. For more information, contact our station manager, Bill Service, at 248-628-9658 or email him at octv.org. Also, don't forget you can locate our TV schedule by going to our website and clicking on Schedule. Once you're there, you can find a great list of OCTV programs and dates, and also times. One program I recommend you check out is Minutes by Minutes with Elgin Nichols and Dave Kinney. They have fun delivering all the facts of your community meetings, good deeds, weather recaps, along with times and dates you can attend your next community meeting. I'm Brandon Sink, and this is OCTV's weekly calendar of events. That's all I have for today. Stay warm, drive slow, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, the Honda Accord won the 2018 North American Car of the Year at the Detroit Auto Show, while the Lincoln Navigator took truck honors and the Volvo XC60 was named Top Utility Vehicle of the Year. This year's winners were selected by a jury of 60 American and Canadian automotive journalists, including automotive news reporter Richard Truitt and senior editor Sharon Silcarty, from a group of 3 finalists in each category. A vehicle must be redesigned or significantly changed to be eligible for the award. The Honda Accord beat out the Kia Stinger and Toyota Camry. This is the first win for the Accord, which was a finalist for the industry's highest honor in 2008 and 2013. The Lincoln Navigator trumped the Chevrolet Colorado and Ford Expedition. Only 3 vehicles were eligible for the truck segment, and by default, all 3 became finalists. This is the first ever win for the Lincoln brand. The Volvo XC60 took Utility Vehicle of the Year, beating out the Alfa Romeo Stelvio and the Honda Odyssey. The 10th generation Accord was virtually new from the ground up, according to Henio Arcanielli, Senior Vice President of the Automotive Division at Honda North America, who told Automotive News the win was the cherry on top of a great year. Anders Gustafsson, Volvo Cars CEO of North America, said this year's win was a great start to the year, but he doesn't want to look too far in advance. First of all, this award. Then, we also open our plant in Charleston, South Carolina in a couple of months. But for now, we just enjoy this, Gustafsson said. Vehicles are judged on several categories, including innovation, design, safety, performance, technology, value, and driver satisfaction. Winners were selected in a 3rd elimination stage. The 3 finalists in each category were chosen from a list of 11 cars, 15 utilities, and 3 trucks in November. Models on the short list were narrowed down from a list of 35 in the fall, of which 20 were crossovers or minivans. And at FCA, Jeep's midsize SUV, the Cherokee, gets a new turbocharged 2-liter i4 engine, a new face, and a number of tweaks as part of an extensive freshening for the 2019 model year. The optional new turbocharged i4 engine delivers 270 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque and joins the standard 180 horsepower 2.4-liter i4 engine, delivering 170 pounds-feet of torque, and a naturally aspirated 3.2-liter V6, delivering 271 horsepower and 239 pound-feet of torque in the Cherokee's new engine lineup. All 3 engines are mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission with a new operating software to improve performance, and each engine is equipped with stop-start technology to increase fuel efficiency. The Cherokee's polarizing front fascia has been redesigned with the daytime running lights and LED headlights melded into a single unit instead of the stacked design in the previous model. The hood and 7-slot grille also receive a makeover for 2019. In the rear, a new liftgate design has an optional hands-free automatic opening feature that is activated with a foot wave beneath the bumper, while new rear lighting is wrapped with what Jeep calls a feature light, a thin red band of LED lighting accentuating the stop, turn, and backing lights. 3 inches of additional cabin width allowed Jeep designers to fix a common complaint about the previous version, that it was too narrow to carry items such as golf clubs without dropping the second-row seats. The extra space adds 27 additional cubic feet to the cabin. Engineers retooled the Cherokee's all-wheel drive systems as well as for the 2019 model. The base Active Drive 1 uses a new lighter rear drive module for added efficiency, while the Active Drive 2 and Active Drive Lock are used for heavier off-road applications. The Trailhawk off-road trim now boasts an improved crawl ratio of 51.2 to 1. The 2019 Cherokee will be available in U.S. dealerships beginning in the first quarter, FCA said. It will come in 5 trim levels: Latitude, Latitude Plus, Limited, Overland, and Trailhawk. And on the recall front, Fiat Chrysler Automobile said on January 12th it was recalling about 162,500 2017 Chrysler Pacifica minivans because a software glitch may cause the vehicle to stall. The automaker said one accident had potentially been linked to the defect. Under a rare set of conditions, a vehicle's engine control module may incorrectly assess the engine's operating status and cause it to stall, Fiat Chrysler said. FCA said 153,800 units are in the U.S., another 7,457 in Canada, 974 in Mexico, and 245 abroad. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.